myself, so.
Welcome to the Vulgarians podcast. This is Eric.
This is Christian. And we are welcomed by
The infamous Lou Whitener.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yes. We would have another brother here.
But Fuckface didn't make it.
Fuckface didn't make it. He bailed. He said he'd try to make it. And the reason that we're doing this episode, the unfortunate reason we're all, together sans fuckface, is our dad passed away.
Yeah.
So we're doing this episode to honor him.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day.
Oh my God.
So let's just let's get into it.
Okay.
Well, first off, we really do wish Jeff was here.
Yes.
Fuckface is meant as an endearing, loving term. We really do wish he was here.
It would have made it it would feel better.
More well-rounded, more closure. But hey,
some people deal with...
To each their own.
Yeah, people deal with things in their own way.
I tried to get him. I was like, oh, if you could just... Because he's the audio tech guy. So he was the one who set all the audio for this studio up. So I was like, well, I mean, something's just sounding off. Maybe you could just come check it out.
he's the unofficial free producer of this podcast because Eric will not learn how to use the board. He will just call our brother and go,
well,
can you come over here and fix this shit? And then Jeff goes, I just fixed that shit. And he's like, yeah, but I touched something and something
well,
messed up.
I know how to add funny sound drops.
And that's about it. So he's intern Jeff.
Intern Jeff.
Oh God.
But I mean, he has other stuff going on.
See, you were trying to catfish your brother and say, "Oh yeah, come fix our sound."
Yeah, I was trying to dupe him. Get him with the bait and switch.
Oh, he got you though.
He saw right through it.
He really did.
Mainly because you told him that we were going to talk about Dad.
Yeah, I think that weirded him out.
Ow.
Yeah.
But, oh well, fuckface didn't make it. So...
Love you.
It's interesting, because the day after Dad died, I made a joke, and my mom was like, too soon. I was like, well, thank God Dad's gone, because he wouldn't want to live in a world that didn't have cops or live PD on it.
Fucking for real.
That was him and the dog would lay in bed and just laugh their asses off at live PD and cops.
That is 100% true.
Yes.
He's been watching Cops for 31 years. Its entire run.
Yeah, okay. Let me tell you a quick story.
He knows the episode. He's like, oh, I know. What, Christian? Come here, sit down, watch. You'll love this. And I'm like, does he know these episodes?
Bitch!
I'm gonna fucking slap you.
He was telling a story about my dead father.
Okay. So, here's a very quick story, and I'll get...
No, you're fine.
All right. So, when I was in second grade, I lived in Florida with my mother and stepfather, and I remember I was hanging out with Dad, and we were watching an episode of Cops, and I lived in Fort Lauderdale. And we were watching an episode, and the cops were in Fort Lauderdale. And I went, hey, I know exactly where that is. That's right by my house. Well, that did not go over well.
I bet not.
Yeah. And so thanks, cops. You started a fight between my mom and Dad.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well,
Basically, kids, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing to nobody.
Yeah. If Jeff was here, I'd have a funny story about... Jeff should have kept his mouth shut a couple times. But, we'll avoid that one since he's not here.
Yeah.
Nah, dude, my mom hated Cops. Fucking hated Cops and live PD, and she'd like, I'm not watching this shit.
Not like Cops as in human beings, like the policeman on the street.
The show.
Just the television show Cops.
Because they would marathon
Robin is not outside like...
Yeah, no, I fucked that one up. I said that one a little bad. No,
She's
she
not
has the utmost respect for the police community, the boys in blue.
She ain't outside with like fuck 12 fucking things. Like,
Yeah, she's not a rioter.
yeah.
Don't tear gas my mom, please. Don't hit her with rubber bullets. No, Dad would watch marathons of the fucking show on A&E. He was mad as hell, like furious when they took it off of Fox and put it on A&E. Like, and then they just started marathoning it. So his morning schedule was Me TV. He'd watch shows he saw 50 times.
Yeah.
And then he would go and watch Cops for the rest of the day.
And
maybe
yeah.
and live PD and maybe
Some like those like home flip shows.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then he would switch it over every now and then to ridiculousness because the man had a thing for Chanel West Coast. I don't know if it was the laugh.
I always thought he was a man of class, but
Nope.
well, nope. Apparently not.
Nope. Loved him Chanel West Coast.
That is so funny. I always thought him more of a Melania type of man. Where
You would think.
but
Nope. Just transmecus.
You know what I appreciated? I hated in hindsight, but I appreciate, and we'll get more into this type of behavior. But when people came to the house, he didn't give a shit who you were. You were going to watch what he wanted to watch on TV.
Mm-hmm. And half the time he'd walk around in his underwear.
Yeah.
Oh, God. So many times.
Captain Zero fucks. Maybe that's the title, Captain Zero fucks. Because it's like, no.
Yeah.
Hey, and he doesn't give,
He never gave a fuck.
no.
Unapologetic.
Unapologetic. I said that the other night. If you could describe our father in one word, it's unapologetic.
Yep.
And take that however you will. It can mean both negative and positive.
Mm-hmm.
But unapologetic. And that's what it was.
That's why I got along with him so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all did.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on. Take off them rose-colored glasses.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Sorry. We just put him in the tomb yesterday.
No,
I'm
no.
feeling a little nostalgic.
I got along with him okay, for the most part. There were times, but Eric got the brunt of
Yes.
because, and I've said it before, he saw the most of himself in you.
Mm-hmm.
So he was the hardest on you. And he really, that's not up for debate.
No.
He was hardest on you because he saw the most potential in you. So,
And me and him were the same fucking person.
yeah.
Like freaky. And we would just constantly just fuck with each other. But
It's funny that like I got called Little Beef.
mm-hmm.
But you're really the Little Beef, except you're much bigger than him.
Yeah.
So you're not like Little Beef. You know?
No, I am.
By the way, our dad's nickname was Beef
Yeah.
since high school. So,
Yep. So all of his friends and everybody called him Beef until he started dating my mom. And she's like, yeah, I don't want to be dating a guy known as Beef. So that shit ends now. And then everybody started calling him David. Even the family called him Beef.
yeah. It really was a term of endearment.
It
after a
was.
while.
It wasn't meant to be.
But he owned it
He did.
and made it work. And it became a term of endearment.
He was a local legend in Beckley.
He really, really was.
Like, I wouldn't be surprised if somebody erected a statue. In all honesty.
I don't know where you'd put it, honestly.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Maybe out in front of no, it wouldn't be out in front of the Legacy building. That's for sure.
no. But, no, but he was an epitome of like what you would call a polarizing figure. You know, where if you loved him, you loved him.
Kind of a contrarian in a way, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you loved him, you loved him. Could he piss you off? Absolutely. Did he piss you off? More than likely. But was there still something about him that made him endearing in the fact of he is somebody special?
Well, because he was real. Like, he was in a world full of fake people, David was one of the realest motherfuckers on the planet.
Well, Captain Zero Fucks.
Yeah.
Which was
he was who he was.
Helpful and detrimental.
Uh-huh.
But he was who he was. And, that's admirable. But, it's hard to... It's not really real that he's gone.
No, it doesn't feel real yet. It almost still feels like he's at home.
He is.
Yeah, I felt that way. Because, he stayed in the bed all day with the dog. Even when you would come down, he'd either be out on the patio or in bed with the dog watching Cops.
Honestly, I think if there was a white light kind of scenario, I'm happy to believe that he was there yesterday when the family came down and was hanging out
after the funeral.
After the funeral. I would like to believe he was there.
Yeah,
and I felt like he was there, but I could also see that if there was like a white light scenario and he's like in the bedroom, like, nah, I'm good here. I'm just gonna stay. But now that Cops and Live 3D have been canceled, he might, if there's a second, if there's a second chance for the light, he might take you up on it now.
Yeah, because
he might have passed at first, but it was solely so he just didn't want to leave the house.
Well, he got pissed off at Me TV because after noon they played nothing but the Flintstones. So when he was in the hospital, dying in there, he's like, he'd ask the nurse whenever he got his,
faculties.
Yeah, his faculties about him. He'd be like, "Can you turn on Me TV?" And then they just leave that shit on all day. Well, after noon, the Flintstones were on all day. And he looked at me the day I went and visited him, and he goes, "Can you turn this fucking shit off?"
What's he got against the Flintstones?
After a week of nothing but the Flintstones?
Yeah, I guess.
I think
can see that.
I'd be sick and tired of fucking cavemen. I'd never want to see another caveman or a dinosaur again. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So.
But,
yesterday.
Oh, shit.
Was the funeral, man. And that was a little weird.
It's hard to believe he's almost been gone almost an entire week.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
And, first off, it's called the Vulgarians podcast.
Yeah,
I'm sure you don't expect some lack of vulgarity here, but let's just say that we grew up, our dad was in the funeral business. So we grew up around dead bodies in the funeral business. So we're a little, I don't want to say cold, but desensitized a little bit.
Extremely desensitized. I interned at a funeral home when I was 17 and sold cemetery property when I was 21. It doesn't affect me. I've been in the embalming room many occasions.
From an early age, we learned what death was and that everybody does it. And we heard stories about deaths that
gruesome
that we will hopefully never experience.
Nope.
And for the sake of the embalmers and the people putting them together, hopefully they never experience, right?
Yep.
So, that being said, he looked good.
He looked damn good. Best embalming job I've ever seen.
He looked great.
Shout out to Goldfinch Funeral Home and Todd for that. Like, fucking crazy. He looked alive. It was one hell of a send-off.
It was spooky, man.
Yeah, it freaked me the fuck out
Because
when I saw him.
Everybody says that, right? Like when you go to a viewing or a wake or whatever you want to call it. I always call it a viewing. But when you go to one of those, somebody always goes, "Oh, he looked like he was sleeping. He looked so natural, like he was sleeping," and they never do.
No,
But this time,
anytime, Lou, that I would go to a visitation, like, doesn't matter what. If I go to a viewing or a visitation, I just go look and be like, that's just shitty craftsmanship. I'm judging corpses.
so therefore, if you're planning on like America's Next Top Embalmer, Eric will happily be a judge
Yes.
and be the Simon Cowell
I'd
of
be
the
like-
funeral industry.
But like, who taught you to do makeup? Gupton Jones, which is a funeral director's college.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
The people who get it get it.
For the
That half a person is laughing their ass
Yep.
off right now. All right.
yeah, their soul's just been grinded down. But yeah, the funeral was interesting.
I mean, it's always weird. It's not always weird because this shit hasn't happened before. Funerals in the time of a pandemic. And all due respect to the great state of South Kakalaki. Mm-hmm. All right. Y'all don't give a fuck.
Nope.
Restaurants are open, folks. You can go inside and sit down. It's all good. But there was a limit on the people for the funeral and the visitation.
25,
25.
and we had 47.
Not all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a head count.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble. No. They were not all at the same time. But we had, it was a good turnout.
We rolled the visitation and the funeral into the same thing.
Yeah. So it was,
But I just thought it was funny when they played the opening song to the
go ahead, this has been heavy on your heart.
It has.
This joke has been,
It's not even a joke. It like happened.
Go ahead.
Dude, all right. So the first song they play, it gets about 45 seconds in, and I just hear a crack of thunder. I was like, oh shit, the old man's pissed. He fucked up the music. It should have been some New Orleans jazz or something. And then the pastor starts talking, and our dad was blind, legally blind.
Yeah.
That's what made him retire, basically, was he couldn't see.
Because he spilled embalming fluid in his eye.
You think that's what did it?
No, he told me that's what did it.
Oh, shit. I didn't know that.
No. You didn't know that?
No.
Oh. Hey. Here's what happened.
He told me a laser eye surgery did it.
Bullshit. No. What happened was he was at the place where he worked.
Good call.
And he splashed some embalming fluid in his eye. And it burned like the cornea or retina. It burned something where he had like great night vision. But during the day, whatever filter was on his eye to block out the sun was gone, so he had to start wearing glasses. But at night, he could see, and then that kind of deteriorated. It could have been from the diabetes or whatever things.
We'll touch on that later.
Yeah, but no, he got a splash of embalming fluid in the eye.
No shit.
Yes, I remember that. Because when he took me on my visit to my photography school, we went, and this was in the freaking 90s, all right?
Pearl Jam was on the radio a lot.
Yeah. He had a hold of my arm as we were going through because he couldn't see that well. But we got the dark room, took the tour of the dark room.
Perfect vision.
He could see.
That's crazy.
Because he could see in the dark. He just couldn't see in the light unless he had glasses on.
Don't tell the pastor that, because he touched on the darkness and the light too. But what he said that really, I almost lost my shit. Thank God I had a face mask on because I had a grin from ear to ear. a wicked looking Cheshire cat grin. But the preacher said, "A man without vision shall perish." And I just grinned. I was like, "Oh, come on, man."
Now, the normal person would take that for what it was meant, that our father was a man of vision. He took this cemetery that was called
Southeastern.
Something bland cemetery, and he turned it into something really kind of respectable, catchy,
with dignity,
and he turned things, and that was one thing Dad did. He was a marketing guy. He was, he was a salesman, and he thought that he could take this cemetery and had a vision for it. So therefore, I got what he was saying. But in the literal sense, yes. Don't talk about a man with vision when he's blind. How many times did you ride with Dad? How many times did Dad say, "Hey, give me the keys, let me drive"?
Lou, since he's gone, I can say this. That motherfucker cheated his driver's license test.
He cheated his boat captain's test.
I know. I was going to talk on that one next, but so my mom went up first to get her driver's license when they moved to South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't think he could pass the damn test. So the motherfucker memorized exactly what my mom said. They're supposed to change those tests out.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, fuck it, I'll gamble it. Read the test, like memorized it just immediately. Got passed on his driver's license. Well, then there's a loophole in South Carolina where if you need to renew, all you have to do is fill out a form online. You get one of those. So that motherfucker drove for 10 years. Blind.
Yeah.
Would pick me up from school and shit.
He took us to prom.
Blind.
I remember I came down in 2009 and you all were living at the condo.
Uh-huh.
And I had like a hotel room at Super 8. Mm-hmm. And it was before you crashed my birthright. That's the only thing I ever wanted.
I pissed on that car.
That's the only thing I ever wanted.
I claimed it.
Was that damn Alante. That's all ever. It's my favorite car in the world. And so I thought Dad was going to give me the Alante to use while I was there, right? Like, hey, I come down, take the car to the hotel, come back tomorrow morning, pick me up, we'll go do stuff. Because he let me drive the Alante while we went out and did shit, right? But no, it was, okay, we're going to go to the hotel. It wasn't, I'll drive the hotel, Dad drive back. It was, nah. Dad's like, I'll take you. I went, let me drive. And please, for God's sake, do not drive back. Nope, I got it. And he just had to show me that he knew the way by feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how he drove, was by feel.
Yeah. And nothing will pucker your asshole like driving with a blind man when there's stop signs and shit and there's traffic.
Lou, he hit a fucking guy. Did he never tell you this?
No, he never told me he hit a guy. I have no knowledge of this.
So he was pulling into the auxiliary parking lot of the condo, right? And some guy was walking his fucking dog and Dad just clipped him. He wasn't going fast, but Dad went to go park the car, didn't realize he hit a guy, and the guy's just screaming, hit and run, hit and run.
How did that get fixed?
Dad talked his way out of it. I wasn't there for it, but he told me about it.
He was just driving by himself?
He was by himself.
How the fuck you just drive by
He
yourself?
was dropping Robin off.
Oh, I thought he was maybe sightseeing, which is
no, but who knows? Who knows what the fuck he did? He could have been driving all over the damn town.
I don't know, man.
He would never drive himself to a doctor's appointment, though. That's for damn sure.
It's better when you do it.
Yeah, it makes a better story on why I'm still on disability.
No, because he was blind.
He was fucking blind.
He deserved disability. He bought that policy early on. That was the smartest thing he ever did.
Uh-huh. But with the Alante, me and him got into it one day. And I was just like, you know what? That motherfucker loves that car. I'm going to fucking destroy it. Now, by that, I meant I was going to take a fire extinguisher and just spray the damn car with a fire extinguisher.
You heard me just call that fucking car my birthright,
uh-huh.
right? All right. So go ahead. Continue your destroy this car story.
Well, then I pissed on the door handle.
That's your own fault. You're the one who drove it.
I didn't drive it then, but and even when I was a young kid in North Carolina, I hit it with a damn golf ball and put a huge dent in the door. I've been fucking up that car for 2 decades.
There was just a love-hate relationship with that car, and that car did nothing to you.
No. It didn't.
You were in an abusive relationship with that car.
Uh-huh. It got me pulled over a shitload.
Oh, the car got you pulled over, did it?
I wasn't speeding. A guy said, hey, man, you can't ride in the passing lane. But he pulled me over when I was leaving college. So I was leaving college. A cop pulls behind me and goes, you're riding in a passing lane. I was like, I always did. I didn't know that was a problem. Oh, yeah, it's a big problem. Don't do it again. You're free to go. Okay. But he was like, why the fuck is this kid driving a damn Cadillac? He probably knew what the car was and was like, oh, hell no. So they thought I stole the car.
Nothing thought that some, like, little rich kid in Myrtle Beach might have had a
nope
Cadillac.
Pulled my ass over for no fucking reason. No reason.
Yeah, no. They don't make that car anymore.
Nope. They make the, what is it, XLR?
I don't give a shit what they make now. They don't make Elantes anymore.
Well, I didn't total the car. The bitch driving in the fog, a silver car with no headlights on, totaled the car. Why would I want to total how I got to and from places?
Your Honor, may I just ask the statement to be read back of all the times that
I fucked up the car. Yeah.
This is, premeditated.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway, if no one has ever seen a Cadillac Alante, look it up.
Yeah, it's a great car.
It's a sweet car. What's next on your list of dadisms?
Well, you referenced the yacht, and I forgot all about that.
Yeah, dude. No.
He almost crashed that motherfucker into a 48-foot mega yacht. It got away from him one time. We're all on the motherfucker, panicking. It's like, oh shit, we're about to sink. And then owe this motherfucker a ton of money. Luckily, he missed it by 1.5 feet. You want to bet Robin's asshole puckered? That whole time?
Is that when y'all sold the boat?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he banked us on a damn sandbar twice.
Because he was like, dude, I got my captain's license. I went, you're blind. He went, yeah. He was like, all it is you put in your coordinates here, and here's where you are, and it's like a GPS. There's just a line, and you just follow that red line, and you're good to go. Not knowing what might be in front of you. Right.
They'll just move out of the way.
Boats or people or land.
I was waiting for him to run somebody over.
Yeah.
Like, because people go swim, dogs and shit go out in the waterway all the time.
Yeah.
But
the Intercoastal Waterway. And he went and
threaded it.
People, low wake zone be damned. One time we went out there and it was just like...
He fucked up a dude on a jet ski one time. You were with us.
I was.
He put a big ass fucking wake on that shit and sent that motherfucker flying.
Oh, I think that fits into the dad fucks with people category.
It definitely does, but
yeah.
He used to make us clean the motherfucker. So he'd stand there with his hands on his hips and tell us when he thought we did a good enough job.
Oh, cabin boy!
Well, all right, so I was 13, 12, 13, 13 when that was going on. I was in 8th grade. At that point in time, that's the only time I ever heard my mom curse. Was on that boat.
Yeah, she doesn't curse often.
No.
I heard her curse today. That's the first time in a long time.
He was docking us, and we were starting to drift into the boat next to us. Mom jumped off the boat with a rope in her hands and hit the fucking dock and anchored that bitch real quick.
Ride or die.
Ride or fucking die. But she's like, I hate this fucking boat. Just screamed that shit in the marina. And I was like, oh shit. And Dad just sat there with his head down for the rest of the day. Because normally he's talking shit to us while we're cleaning. He's like, yep, y'all just get it all the funk off. Get the ocean funk off of it. He just sat there with his head down like, I fucked up.
Prideful.
Yep.
That's another word that could be used. That is also the same as unapologetic. Could be good, could be bad, but prideful.
Dad loved having nice shit.
Does not.
And he wasn't afraid to let you know how nice a shit he had.
No, he wasn't. And, we didn't connect on that level. I don't care how much something you own costs or how great this is or how top of the line but that was important to him. And he worked hard to be as successful as he was, and he was proud of it. And he wanted to show off
the
fact.
reason we didn't go back to North Carolina after he retired in Dallas was because he said, fuck it, I own a condo. So he's like, you give me the choice between the ocean and I get to retire and live oceanfront, or put me in bumblefuck nowhere, North Carolina.
It's beautiful country.
It was. We had 8 acres. Like, there was a creek that ran through the property. Massive property. He's like, yeah, fuck that. Give me the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense. He wanted to see the ocean every day. What little of it he could.
But one thing about him is that he loved Google Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And he would sit and tell me, okay, so if you shot an arrow from my balcony directly across the Atlantic Ocean, it would wind up in this part of Africa. And he knew exactly where everything was. And every time I would go to a new contract or move to a new town, he would go, where you at? What's your address? And I'd talk to him and he'd go, I got it right here. Is that big tree still in the front yard? I'm like, that's a little spooky, man. That's a little creepy.
He also used to get flight simulators. And we laid the law down on his ass. Because we were afraid he was getting ready to sneak out and buy a plane.
All right. One of my favorite things was when he talked his way in to the North Myrtle Beach Airport as a former pilot, so he got to hang out on the back porch and watch planes.
Yep. I remember that.
He walked in to the North Myrtle Beach Airport, and he's a salesman in all his charm And he was like, gee, I used to be a pilot. I used to fly. I love flying. I can't fly anymore. I got a little bit blind, but I just like to be around it. I like to, hear it and smell it, and I just kind of miss it. So, is there any way that I could, maybe go sit out back and be close to the planes?
How quick did they get a chair for him?
No, they were out there. There were chairs out there.
Oh.
He would hang out there when we were at school and Mom was at work.
Yep.
Oh my God.
And we went there one day, and what he would do, I don't know what, and he walked in and he went, "Hey, David," and he was like, "Hey," and I went, "How the hell do you get to go in this unrestricted area?" And he went, "Oh, because I told him I was a pilot." And I just missed it. And he told me the whole thing, and I was like, "Oh, all right." And then what he would do is he would go and look, and he could read enough to find the
Tail numbers.
And then he would go look them up.
And he would find flight logs.
Yeah.
And follow the flight logs at the house on a simulator. Uh-huh. We were deathly afraid after he sold the boat.
He was a stalker of certain people. Anybody that flew into North Myrtle Beach Airport, David knew where the hell you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was looking up your shit, and he knew who you were. He was like, "Phil, hey, that right there, that was Phil Mickelson. That's his plane."
Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
He had a list of celebrities and their private planes written down. Mm-hmm. The tail numbers on their private planes. Like, if any of those men went missing, Dad may have been suspect number one.
Who has a list of their... Here's a blind recluse in North Myrtle Beach.
Jesus Christ. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, that's why I'm here, man.
Oh, dude.
Tell me something I don't know.
Oof.
What's next on your list?
Well, I had one more comment about the funeral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Roll your motor.
So after we got a little distracted. So after the "a man without vision shall perish" line, the second song opens up. And it's Amazing Grace.
Was blind,
but
now I see.
There was so much emphasis when they sang that fucking line.
To you.
Dude, by that point, it's taking everything I have. Thank God there was a face mask. We all had to wear masks. Because I was losing my shit and shaking. I was like foaming at the mouth. Like, that's the funniest fucking shit ever.
Now, if there were any more proof that Eric can't take shit seriously whatsoever at our father's funeral, he can make like a Beavis and Butthead blind joke and go,
like, look at the grin on my face right now. This is just me under the mask. I was just like, this is fucking great. Dad would have hated this.
Or he would have laughed his ass
off. But probably in his later days, he would have hated it.
Yeah. Nah.
I don't know.
I mean, who knows, man?
Who knows? But it was fucking great. But we have some funny stories of Dad. Isn't that right?
Me?
Yes.
Oh, you want me to join in now?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
After you cucked me. Go ahead, hit your button. Go ahead, do it. I want you to.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
He fucking shit on me. He shit in my face.
You did. You shit it in my face. I wasn't even ready for it or anything.
No, I just sprung it on you. That's the best way to get the reactions.
God damn it. Wait,
I don't give a fuck. I drink vodka. I don't care.
Wait, you want a funny story about your dad?
Yeah, you and him got pretty tight.
I was the
What
baby.
was your name? Princess what?
Oh, but hold on. We have to get prefaces. Your dad always gave nicknames. I saw this.
Yes. He was notorious for nicknames.
And I'd only known him for maybe like a month. not even that. And he was like, "Oh, Princess Teehee's here," and I was like, "Who the hell is Princess
Well-
Teehee?" And I asked Eric who that was, and he's like, "That's you." And I was like, "Oh, he's giving me a nickname. Oh, okay."
He thought you're. Let me just go ahead and tell you when I first brought you over and you did the laugh. He thought it was the most fucking obnoxious thing he's ever heard.
So Princess Teehee was an actual like rib. It was like it was a joke on you, but
Yeah,
Okay.
which Dad was famous for.
Oh, it's okay.
but it became a term of endearment.
It did. It was like the beef story. It did. It became like that. No, but he always, "Oh, Princess Teehee's here," and I just like thought that was so funny that he had given me a nickname. But your dad was always really funny to with his isms. The isms were
yeah.
my favorite. I remember when we played Rook.
Yeah, we taught her Rook.
Yeah. We had drinks together. We were like 17 years old, and we brought drinks over. And we are like, "Yeah, we'll play Rook." And it was so fun.
It's me and her versus Mom and Dad.
Who won?
It was it
I
was
think-
back and forth.
Yeah.
You know,
I can pick up games pretty quick if I watch you play.
well,
then
you know
I'll-
what
It
I
was
love?
like spades. So she
Well, what I love about Whitener Rook,
Casino Rook, show some respect.
Yeah.
Casino Rook, I apologize, is that it is our own made up rules. If
yeah,
you
it
look
is.
at the actual rule book of Rook, it is not the way Beulah taught everybody.
No.
Our great grandmother.
God rest her soul.
That is not Beulah Rook. And so I'm like, no. So when I teach people Rook, I'm like, yeah, rule book be damned. I'm playing our rules. This is what it is.
Yeah.
And
And Dad and
maybe it's my ministry teaching the gospel of Rook.
Yeah, pretty much.
yeah,
No, that was
Casino
pretty
Rook. What was the other part of that? Casino Rook. Something gamblers. There was some other part to it that Dad always said.
I forget. Man.
I can't remember.
don't
But
know.
him and our uncle would just fuck with everybody. Everybody at the lake house.
Rook is a card game, by the way. If you're still, yeah.
Yeah, they have the internet. They can look that shit up. But yeah, Rook's a card game where it's like spades, but instead of just suits, there's colors.
It's a weird, like, go fish, spades kind of hybrid.
Yeah.
It's a weird ass thing, but it became a very volatile part of our family dynamic.
Relationships were made and broken.
Won and lost. Hierarchies were built and crumbled. The position of the will was potentially made.
Gambled.
Yes, like your spot in the will may or may not have depended on how good you were at Rook.
And our great grandma Beulah was a god at it. Right until David came around with it.
And him and Steve were pretty good, man.
Yeah, him and Steve,
Him and Steve were real good.
they hurt some people's feelings.
Yeah.
Like, people took them a while to get over that.
No, because they were a great tag team.
Oh, they would just fuck with
No,
everybody.
because Dad would talk shit.
Uh-huh.
That was his thing. He got all the heat, while Steve was just concentrating like a son of a bitch.
I watched that motherfucker shoot the moon one night. And he won.
It's always good when you shoot the moon and it actually pays off. Yeah.
Because, all right, so there's a thing called the widow.
Oh, for God's
Fuck
sake.
it.
No.
We've got it.
We're not gonna
Yeah,
talk
fuck
about- I'm not going to talk about Rook anymore. Look it up. Shoot the
It's a
moon.
great game. Maybe I'll talk about the Whitener rules one day.
Maybe they'll name that the episode Shoot the Moon.
Maybe.
I don't know.
I still like Fuckface couldn't make it.
I like that.
Or
one
didn't
too.
make it.
Yeah, Fuckface didn't make it.
Yeah.
Love you, fuckface.
Fuckface.
All right.
Disappointment to the family.
What's next on...
Let's see. What is next on the list?
Because we could, like, talk and bullshit forever and ever
So-
about other things, but, we actually... There's an itinerary.
So there's, we mentioned Dad used to be funeral director. there was something special I wanted for this episode of the podcast.
Okay.
Dad's wax head.
Yeah.
So when he was in bombing school, fucking how long ago?
In the mid 70s.
They make you build a wax head of yourself. Well, he still has the head. And it's in the house. It's in my mom and, well, it's in their house somewhere. I wanted it for this episode, and I was going to set it on top of the fridge and unveil it. I was going to Vanna White that motherfucker.
I'm really surprised you weren't planning on putting it in the refrigerator and just tell Jeff to go get a beer.
Oh, that would have been so good.
That'd been really funny.
Well, maybe he won't listen to this. And,
We can Shanghai him next time.
You can do it next time.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
But yeah, so long story short, in embalming school, in case somebody gets disfigured,
Suicide, burn victim,
something
car
like that,
crash, decapitated,
and they want a open casket, you have to build and mold their face. And it's one of those weird things that I remember being a little kid looking at that going, Dad made this sculpture of himself, like a self-portrait.
Mm-hmm.
He's an artist.
Yeah.
And when you learn that it's like funeral directors and embalmers thinking like, oh, when you do that, it's an art.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish he would have kind of been like, you know what? I'm actually pretty good at this because it looked just like him.
Oh,
and
spooky.
honestly, what's weird is that when he made it, he was in his mid-20s. So our dad was 67, right?
67 or 68.
He's born in 52.
Okay.
And it's not December yet.
Yeah.
He's 67. This was maybe 40 years ago. He's like probably younger than that, but we'll say 27-year-old David Whitener.
In his prime.
In his prime. And he looks, that head. Christian, you've never seen this head.
No.
Correct?
No.
You will not want that in your bedroom.
Yeah, my original plan was after this episode, put up a shrine to Dad in the bedroom.
Because that's a weird kink that will be talked about later.
Look. Dad used to walk in on us in high school while we were fucking.
He was blind.
He was blind and we were under the covers. But I'm sure it smelled like sex and shame in there. So...
And this nasty son of a bitch wouldn't even stop.
Nope. I was trying to nut. But he'd come in and talk to the lizards and have a conversation with us, and I'm just side plowing Christian. I'm spoon fucking her. And Dad would just be like, all right, well, y'all have a good night now. I was like, I'm trying to.
Y'all sleep tight?
Never brought it up.
Nope.
But this happened like...
A lot.
A lot.
More than it should have.
And he'd come in his underwear a couple times. I was like, this is even weird for me, man.
That
It's his house.
How much more of a big dick power move can you do? Just be like, my house, I walk in.
Yeah.
Also, by the way, here's something fun fact about our dad. He had a portrait painted of himself.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things was, I didn't have to deal with this. This was Jeff and Eric. He was like, anytime the boys piss me off or do something bad, I hang the portrait in their room so I can always be looking at
And he fucking did.
How many times did you have that portrait in your room?
3. It's there for a week. You had it for a week.
That was one of his favorite things.
Dude, it was fucking creepy, and I didn't like it.
We took a family portrait yesterday of all the family members, and I didn't realize till after the fact that we were standing in front of Dad's portrait, and he was just staring
At the camera.
I wouldn't have it any other way.
Because the eyes fucking followed you. No matter where you were in the room, he was always looking at you. So you could...
It was like an Elvis painting.
Yeah.
Everything.
Or like a painting of Jesus. But the eyes always followed you. And then if you fuck up, you're like, is he watching me? It's like one of those Scooby-Doo scenes where the eye, like the slit would pull out and the eyes would just fucking glance around the room. It was so...
Man, shit like that made him so happy.
Oh, yeah, he loved fucking with people. Loved it. I mean, we loved fucking with him, like, classically, but he loved fucking with everybody. It was his thing. Like, what was the story you told me the other day about him at the lake house jumping out of a speedboat while it was going?
Oh, yeah. No, that was just a thing that would happen on occasion. Where, like, there was a time when, like, we were at the lake, at Flat Top, and there was a speedboat because, our uncles would like, ski.
Yeah.
Right? And then the 90s happened, and then they got a pontoon boat because that would be more good because people were getting older or whatever.
Yeah.
Having kids.
Yeah. But no, speedboat, Dad driving speedboat, and then all of a sudden, just as you're driving...
Dad wouldn't be in the speedboat.
And you jump out the... you're driving, and then you just jump out.
Oh, my God.
So then it was a mad dash to get to the wheel.
Oh, shit! Damn it, David! And it was
God.
And he's just chilling, so you had to go back and pick him up. Yeah. But it was just one of those fun things that, honestly, any of us would do. If we were on a boat.
Oh, yeah. And Jeff wouldn't, but we probably would.
I 100% would be driving a speedboat and just jump out of it.
Yeah.
I would just, you know what? I don't know if I would do it with you in there, because you would be the bastard who would go, fuck him.
Oh, yeah.
I'd take off and just leave
I'd be like,
in the middle of a lake
I was
somewhere.
like, enjoy fucking swimming back, bitch.
Yeah. So, I ain't no idiot.
No.
I would actually be the one to talk you into jumping into the lake, and then I would do the same thing to you.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't be that stupid.
It's all for entertainment.
And whoever did it and got left would just be like...
You get in my face with that, I'll beat your goddamn ass, you son of a bitch. You piece of shit.
That's exactly how it'd go down.
I can picture it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Uh-huh. Oof. But what other shit did Dad do to fuck with people? He used to fuck with his bosses all the time. He had one boss that was balding and got hair plugs.
Now, this was back in, like, the early 80s.
Yeah.
When hair plugs
weren't good.
Weren't very good.
They're still not.
Way more expensive than they should have been, but they weren't very good. And bless his heart, he was trying.
And Dad was a habitual line stepper with this guy.
Just in life, man. A line stepper.
He would step on the line habitually. But the one story I was told was where he told this guy that where'd they get the hair for the hair plugs? A baboon's ass? And lit up his key thing was lighting up a cigarette before he just blistered your ass.
Well, it's about adding punctuation.
Yeah, it was
timing and punctuation.
It was it was showmanship. It was fucking showmanship.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was also famous for a lot of his... There's a legend and a lore about him. And you know what? I'm going to say that everything that everyone thinks they know about David Whitener is 100% true. Did he chug a bottle of ketchup?
Yep.
Absolutely, he did.
He swallowed cigarettes as a gag.
Absolutely,
Lit.
He did. Yep.
And when it would cough, like spit them back up, still lit.
Absolutely. Everything you've ever heard is 100% true.
Yep. The man is a myth and a legend in many, many places. He traveled the country as a speaker. He worked in all over the United States.
Here's one thing that I really actually admired is that he would still go out and speak while he was blind. Mm-hmm. Right.
Yep.
So he would go out, and what he would tell me is that he was I would go out to the stage, and I would walk the stage and learn and count how many steps I had to get here and there. So he didn't fall off the stage.
Yeah.
He could walk. He knew how many, and he would count, and he knew how many steps he had to take to get from here to here to here.
Yeah.
And I really kind of, I really admired that because,
He was a showman.
yeah.
And here's the other thing. He was
but
blind.
nobody knew he was blind.
No. And here's the other amazing thing. All his speeches, you know how most speakers have notes? He was blind. He couldn't fucking read them. It was all 100% memory.
Yep.
And the shit he couldn't remember, he just riffed
Yep.
and would get multiple standing ovations. It was crazy. Like, the guy is a god amongst men.
I remember there was like never like any kind of like when I was like, oh, I'm an actor kind of thing. And so if there was like, I'm an actor, and he would be like, oh, that's good. I mean, I give like hour and a half speeches by memory, but you go ahead and memorize those few pages. It was like that. Nothing like that was not impressive whatsoever. So. But he would do that shit like he would do all those speeches, and he had different speeches. It wasn't like he had like one speech that he did over and over and over. That was an hour and a half. He could do different speeches on different things.
Oh yeah,
and
it was
amazing.
Standing ovations every time.
Yeah, because I remember talking to him one time, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" He went, I'm going over this speech again. I've done it, haven't done it for a while. I'm trying to rememorize it." And I was like, oh. So we had like a bonding moment where I'm like, oh, you're memorizing stuff? I'm memorizing stuff. Except the problem was he wrote his. Mm-hmm. I'm just...
Yep. I mean, it's crazy shit, but do you have any other stories of him fucking with people? I know you have a story about the same guy with the hair plugs.
Oh, that was just one where... I was a little kid, and he walked up and just, in a very passing, throwaway fashion, went, "Hey, just so you know, there's a full moon out there tonight, so that thing on your head might go a little crazy. So just watch out for that." And it was just a passing, throwaway dig, where I'm sure he went, "Son of a bitch."
Yep. Yep. I know. I think that guy asked him to house set for him or pool set for him.
Yeah.
One time.
I was there.
You were there for that?
I mean, I was there a couple times. I mean, yeah. We talked about it earlier.
Yeah. So my dad turned on the propane to heat the pool.
I wasn't there for that one. But I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So he turned on all the propane, ran the propane out. And the pool was fucking green the next morning. Like, algae had, taken over the pool after one night of it being cranked up to about 110. So, everybody's in a panic. Because Dad threw a damn party at this guy's house when he was supposed to be, just checking the pool. So, they're, going out to buy chlorine pucks and shit. That was a good one.
So, what I would like to, I mean, it's so funny where it's like Eric and I can sit here and we can talk, and we have rambled a lot about Dad, and there's other points we want to get to, I'm sure. But I would like to hear an outsider's perspective. I would like Christian. I mean, you could be a bitch and say like, no, I'm good. But I would like, but go ahead and tell a story.
Yeah, since the one brother couldn't make it, since Jeff couldn't make it, you'd give us some David stories. He would love that. I mean, you are his favorite daughter-in-law.
Which I really could not figure out why I was the favorite. Because obviously, like what you were just saying, he thought my laugh was obnoxious. Like
the first week.
Oh, did he get used to it?
Oh, yeah. It was
is that why he likes Chanel West Coast so much?
Maybe.
Is that what it is?
Uh-huh. Oh, he loved your laugh after that. You were you were the fucking, like, shining star.
Oh, I was.
Yeah.
He would fuck with all of you. Hey, Christian, you want to come watch Cops with me?
Yeah. He loved you after the first... He's like, could you tell her to laugh a little bit quieter? Because he was blind, so his hearing was ramped up.
Yeah.
So he's just like, because you did that shit, like, right next to him.
Oh, I didn't even know about it. So when I first met your dad, number one, I didn't know he was blind until, like, 2 weeks after the fact, and you were like, yeah, he's blind. And I was like, what do you mean he's blind? I had no idea he was blind.
And that was the first time you walked in on us having sex.
Yeah.
Because you were, like, freaked the hell out that I was just like, yeah, fuck it, whatever. Yeah.
Well, at least he was dressed that time.
Yeah, he was dressed that time. He came in to talk to the lizards. Mm-hmm. That you bought me.
Yes, the lizards that I bought you. But no, I just enjoyed sitting there and watching shows with him, and that was like his thing. Like he loved the shit. So like I'm trying to think of, like, every time we would watch Cops, he obviously watched every single episode, right? He knew them by heart.
Oh yeah, he could recite
yes.
the episodes.
Yes. And go ahead.
I remember the night that I got really sick on New Year's. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to go out, and instead we ended up setting up all night long with Dad watching Twilight Zone.
Which was awesome. It was so much fun.
I was on my, like, deathbed.
Yeah.
Like, I had the Vicks Vapor Cool on my chest, just, like, laying on a couch, like, delirious. I had a fever.
Yeah. We were all just, enjoying time.
And everybody's around me just, like, laughing, watching Twilight Zone. And I'm like, a little help? No. They were getting ready to kick me out of the family and just adopt her.
Well, so it was really funny. Anytime I would come over there, like, I would come in, and maybe it was just how I was raised.
I mean, you do have the longest legs.
I do.
Our grandma has ever seen.
Oh my God, that was so funny. Thank you, Grandma.
Yeah. Why don't we just say that one for the...
No.
Let's finish the story, and then we'll talk about what happened at that after moment, because that was really funny. I haven't seen her in so long. But I remember anytime I would come into the house, I would go and immediately say hi to Eric's parents. I'd be like, hey, Robin. Hey, David. Me and David would be talking, and then we would start watching. Like, he would be like, oh, come here. Come sit down. And we would sit there and watch Cops. And Eric would get so pissed. He's like, she came over here to see me. Not you people. And then your dad would be like, he's like, she's watching Cops, Eric. Like, can you just go away?
He got mad as shit at me. I'd be like, damn, all right. I didn't know you were dating her.
Go away.
He really did tell Eric to go away.
Hey, he told me to get lost. He's like, get lost. We're watching Cops.
That's literally what he said. It was so funny. I was like 17 years old. But
I'm like, damn, man. All right. Well, I fuck me then. I'll just go wander off.
You're gonna go rub one out.
Yes.
Yeah. Another really funny
Don't
story.
pick up any socks on my carpet.
Jesus Christ. I knew your dad was really big about sweets. So, and he loved him some Reese's pies. So I actually I worked at a place that had the Reese's cut pie. So I brought an entire Reese's cut pie for Eric's dad. And he was like, oh, Christian, you are the best. Let me cut you off a sliver. Nobody else is getting any of this, but he cut me off like probably like a small little 1-inch square just for me. But he ate the rest of that. He shared it with nobody else in the house.
I believe you on that one.
Oh, no, he did.
The one time I embarrassed the shit out of him was one of my funniest jokes ever.
You know what makes it the funniest joke ever? Because you have to tell people it's one of your funniest jokes ever. Just tell the fucking joke.
All right.
Let people judge. Don't oversell it. By the way, I totally endorse this joke. I think it's really, really good.
All right, well, let me tell it.
Shut up, bitch!
So we're up in Beckley, back home, and it's for Christmas or some shit. But he's sitting at the kitchen table eating a honey bun. And the whole family was there. They asked me what I'd been up to. I told them, "Well, guys, I've been doing a lot of writing. I'm writing a book right now." And they're like, "What the hell? Dad never told us about this." And he's just looking at me like funny as shit, like, perplexed. I was like, "Yeah, it's a children's book." They're like, "Oh, what? A children's book?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's called David the Terrible Diabetic and the Mystery of Where'd My Foot Go?" And he looks at me. If looks could kill, I'd be incinerated where I stood.
And how old were you?
I think I was about 22.
All right.
Yeah, I was about 22. Because it was after I dropped out of college. But
So you were just really trying to make him proud.
yeah, yeah. Well, me and him had gotten into an argument on the way up there or something. So I just I wanted to fuck with him a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I think he got mad that my headphones were too loud or some shit, and I was just like, you know what? I saw him eating sugar, and I was just like, he was a diabetic. So
You two just needed to go do mushrooms in the desert together somewhere.
Probably.
And work some shit out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he yanked my headphones off my head from the front seat.
Wait,
And
was
just
he
said,
driving?
you don't, no, Robin was driving.
Oh, okay, good.
He goes, "You don't need these for the rest of the trip."
Okay, we let him drive 3 blocks from the hotel to the Super 8. We're not going to let him drive all the way to West Virginia. Blind.
No.
No.
Negative.
He did drive when we were in town when we went to West Virginia. Right?
Oh, yeah, he did drive around West Virginia that time.
Yes.
Because he still had a valid driver's license.
Oh, God.
Yeah. But you know what? I was 17, so I was like, whatever, if I fucking die. So, but now I would care, but...
Ride or die, dude.
Yep.
Because any normal person would be like, "I think I'm gonna set this one out."
David, that's funny. No.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
that's
can drive,
cute.
You can drive the golf cart.
Yeah.
That's what you get.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going to go to dinner. And he's like, I'm driving. And I was like, great. That's
So
awesome.
we're going to go to the Char. Oh.
Maybe that's the reason why me and
I'm
your
sure
guy...
the roads haven't changed since 1993.
Not at all.
I'm sure nothing's...
Was that a
changed.
stoplight? There was a crash.
Maybe that's the reason why me and your dad got along so well with... Because we both were... He had an excuse to be a terrible driver because he couldn't see. I just like to scare the shit out of you for no reason.
Oh, yeah. No. She hit a speed bump, dude, going about 40 in a Volkswagen Passat and put that bitch airborne in the mall. Yeah.
Why were you in such a hurry at the mall?
I was 17. Everything's in a hurry, man. You're in a hurry to do
true.
everything.
Well...
Yeah, my asshole slammed shut, and I think I pissed my pants a little. Because I was like, oh shit, the suspension's coming off this bitch. Like, we were it felt like slow-mo. That's how it felt. Like, we were in the air for what felt like a long time. Enough to where I'm like, oh shit, we're fucked.
I think I'm sorry, I'm trying to step over you, but just moving on so we can get moving because we're getting an hour and 9 minutes. I think the only person who probably had the most fun at that service was your grandma because she said she said one of the funniest things to me.
Yeah, I think this one's a good one.
So she said one of the funniest things to me. She was just like, I know she doesn't recognize me. She doesn't.
Well, she's like met you. Like, I mean, she
Yeah.
hasn't seen you.
Yeah,
in a
no.
long time.
And so, but she was so funny. She looked at me and she was like, "Oh, I can see why he likes you. You've got such long legs, or you have the longest legs I've ever seen." And I was like, she has no idea who I am or who I'm with. But okay, thank you. I'll take that as a compliment.
No. She knew you were with Eric. She just hasn't seen you in shit.
10 years?
Yeah.
Has it been 10 years? No, it's
Yeah.
longer than that.
Oh, yeah. No, it was longer than that.
So,
It's like 13.
No, but she knew you were with Eric, but it was just so funny because I was going to let you say, like, I knew you wanted to say that because, hey, why not humble brag? Like, by the way, my boyfriend's grandma says I'm hot as shit.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much.
Baby's ride or die, dude.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to get through this whole thing without you.
Nah, it happens.
Honestly, like...
Well, it only
It's
happens
very tough.
once.
It's
I mean, it happens. It's not like it happens every day.
Yeah.
You were my rock through this. And I really do need to tell you how much I appreciate that.
Thank you. It's a tough situation for sure.
You mean the world to me and my family.
I don't get all kiss assy with me.
Oh, I'm not. I'm just
You can
letting
do
you
that
know.
later.
Oh, I definitely will.
He laid some groundwork, baby.
Oh, okay.
So, do we have any other stories? Did you ever fuck with Dad at all? Did you have one instance of fucking with him? Because I gave a couple of mine.
No, I mean, honestly, I
You were too much like him, so you had to fuck with him.
Yeah.
I tried to just keep as neutral as possible, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, it was, I would, because he cared so much about what people thought or how he could, because he was a salesman at heart. So anytime he told me about you or he told me about Jeff or anything, he would sell you guys like $1 million. Like, it's
Hell
the
yeah.
greatest thing, you know. Oh, they're doing this and this and this, and then he would tell me how he'd be like, oh, I told my friend about you, and I told him this. So I got to the point where when I would talk to him, I would have to give him talking points of things he could say to people,
Yeah.
in order to put me over. You know what I mean? Like, I would have to say, oh, and this company does this, or
Yeah.
doing this kind of thing. And even though, so there wasn't like a, man, I'm going through a tough time right now, man.
Yeah.
It kind of wasn't. It was like, well, I'm doing. You had to kind of sell yourself, and
Absolutely.
but
Well,
Absolutely.
I think I'm going to wrap it up there. Just, I had a couple stories of Dad fucking with people, but I think let's leave it there on a high note.
you getting emotional.
A little bit.
No.
A little bit.
Oh,
A little bit misty-eyed.
all right. Well, what are we about to do right now?
All right, so Dad used to drink scotch all the time when he was younger. He quit the sauce when he found God.
No, but as a young man, here is one way that our dad was. He was always different. You know what I mean? Like, he didn't want to be with the status quo. He was always kind of, as the preacher said, a man with vision. Kids who want to drink beer, he decided to drink scotch in high school.
Yep.
Because that was different. Mm-hmm. So, as you were saying, we're about to drink some scotch.
Well, I'm a woman after his own heart because I already finished mine.
Hold on. I can't let you.
I'll ball you over here.
Yeah, there you go. I'll have some more when I get downstairs. All right, guys. This is it. The send-off. Here's to David Whitener.
Cheers.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Salute.
Salute. Have a good one, guys.
Hi, guys.
That's nasty.
Yeah, not good. How do you drink this shit?